Hey, Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Let's go jump in the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumors as we are entering the weekend following Week 2's preseason game last night. More on that in just a couple of minutes. First, though, we begin with the breaking Pittsburgh Steelers news. They have made a trade. They have upgraded the linebacker position kind of out of nowhere and became official again this morning. Here's Ian Rappaport's official tweet on it. Quote, #Steelers trade for Jaguars linebacker Joe Schobert means Pittsburgh will send late-round draft compensation to Jack, source said. Schobert is due $7.3 million this season and fills a big need, end quote. Linebacker is acquired. Yes, a massive need is filled. One of the other inside linebacker spots of the Steelers, of course, run a 3-4, and so they needed somebody else. We were wondering, are they just going to leave the linebacking core as it is, or are they going to make an addition? And sure enough, they have made a trade. We don't know exactly what the compensation is as of filming this. It's going to be a late-round draft pick. Is it going to be a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round draft pick, a compensatory pick? Is it going to be depending on how well he plays? Who knows? But it's a late-round draft pick, and so the addition is really not going to cost Pittsburgh much, if all. And of course, Schobert, who of course played with the Cleveland Browns prior to being a Jacksonville Jaguar, did most of his damage in 2017 when he was a Pro Bowler and one of the better young linebackers in the entire National Football League. Now, Trib Life has a good write-up on the addition of Schobert. Here is the quote. Quote, Schobert led the NFL in tackles and was named to the Pro Bowl for the Browns in 2017, a year after he was a 4th-round pick out of Wisconsin. Started for 3 seasons in Cleveland, Schobert was lured to the Jaguars by a 5-year, $53.7 million contract last year. Schobert will make $7 million this year, according to SportsRack.com, but even if his contract says he has 3 years left and $29.75 million remaining for the 2022 through 2024 season, the Steelers could get out of it next season by releasing Schobert without having to account for any dead cap money, end quote. That tells you it's a win-win. I mean, this is a massive addition for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though he's not the best inside linebacker in the National Football League, you aren't losing a lot if he struggles in Pittsburgh because, again, you can let him go and not have a massive or really any big dead cap hit. Here is your new linebacker depth chart as it currently stands. It'll be Bush, Schobert, and highsmith as your 3 inside linebackers. Of course, you're going to have some movement around there as well. And this is really due to the fact that inside linebacker was the big problem for a lot of people who are watching training camp over the past couple of weeks. The Steelers defense is very good. Like, the Steelers D is going to eat, but they're going to eat even more now by having that inside linebacking core all the more better with the addition of Joe Schobert. There are people that I talked to, I was reading up on, who have been at Steelers training camp, who have said consistently that inside linebacker, they've struggled. They've struggled recovering people on the outside. They've struggled in the run game, and that has been a very clear hole that the Steelers needed to go ahead and fill because they didn't feel good about Buddy Johnson or Gilbert or any of the other backup linebackers that they currently have at that position. So what do? Instead of just being like, well, we have Devin Bush and we have Alex Highsmith, we're going to be just fine. No. They went ahead and made an addition, and this is hopefully going to be one that improves their defense, which is already great. And that's the key here. The Steelers defense is already really good. They did not have to make this move to be a playoff team or compete for the division or even be a Super Bowl team. Like, the secondary looks ready to rock. Most of the linebackers are pretty good. The pass rush is obviously fantastic, and the D tackles are really good as well. Like, we all understand how great the Steelers defense is and expect it to be, but this addition just solidifies them just a little bit more, and I think that with the ability to cut him or release him if Schobert were to struggle, it's just all the more better for this addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've officially added a linebacker. It's a big move for them, and I'm giving it probably an A+. I mean, I see nothing wrong with giving a late-round draft pick for a need at a big position. Give me your trade grade, though, here on this edition right now. I said A+. I mean, I don't know how you hate this, because it was a position of need. It was a player who's played really well in the past and who you're going to pay $7 million to this year. But with the way his contract works out, you're not wasting a lot of money if you have to go ahead and let him go after one season. So give me your grade on the trade down below right now. All right, we talked about the Week 2 preseason game briefly at the start of today's video, and so I want to jump into Dwayne Haskins' performance, really the performance of the entire team last night against the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field on one of 2 games. It's great that, if you're out of the Pittsburgh area, you can basically watch the Steelers play in their second preseason game. Here's the deal. Mason Rudolph, he wasn't terrible, but I'd say he struggled again as the number 2 quarterback. Wasn't really moving the football with the starters, and the majority of the starters were out there. He had the starting offensive line, he had the starting wide receivers, he had Najee Harris. It was just Big Ben who was missing from the starting lineup. And again, Mason Rudolph showed us why he's a backup quarterback. Now, Dwayne Haskins with the number 2s against number 2s and sometimes number 3s looked very comfortable. He was very smooth and led the Steelers on 3 straight scoring drives. I mean, he was he was pretty good last night. He seemed to be in command. Again, it was against backups, and so we can't go ahead and fully compare Mason Rudolph to Dwayne Haskins because Rudolph had to play against the Eagles starting defense. Haskins did not, but Dwayne was still very accurate, 16 of 22 for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Couple of missed throws. I think the one where he's rolling out to his left and didn't set his feet and absolutely airmailed it to, I'm blinking on what wide receiver he airmailed it to, but just missed on a very easy pass. But other than that, Haskins looked pretty good and looked very much in command. And right now he's the rave here on an early Friday morning, breaking down by a lot of national media on the Steelers' win last night. My question is, is a depth chart change coming? Are we getting to the point where Dwayne Haskins will start as the number 2 quarterback next preseason game, or is this going to be take the 4th preseason game? I'm not sure what really there is left to see in terms of not moving Haskins to number 2. Why not move him to number 2? Let him play with the starters if Big Ben doesn't play next week, which we don't know yet if he's going to go ahead and play or not, and then see if Haskins plays well. We forget this is a first-round draft pick. Mason Rudolph is not a former first-round draft pick, has not played a lot of football from a starting caliber standpoint, whereas Haskins has. As bad as he was with the Washington football team, and he was very, very bad, he still is a first-round talent. We got to remember that he threw 50-plus touchdowns during his final year at Ohio State, and so I think we are getting to an inevitable point here where Dwayne Haskins will eventually become the number 2 quarterback, barring the idea that the fans, or I should say that the Steelers front office just loves Rudolph more for something that we're not seeing versus practice to preseason. They also did extend Mason Rudolph's contract. They gave him a little more money, and so maybe they're trying to hold out and make sure that that was a proper move, which is not looking like it was. Again, for much people to like Mason Rudolph and thought he was going to be the backup going forward, I think Haskins has made a very legit case, especially last night against the Eagles. Still early, still got more preseason weeks, more preseason games, and so we'll have to wait and see, but I would not be surprised if we get to a point where Mason Rudolph is no longer the number 2 quarterback and he moves down to the number 3 quarterback. I'd bet they keep all 3, just with the unknownness of Big Ben going forward in the future, and he did sign Mason Rudolph to that contract, but still, with that being said, Haskins was better than Rudolph. Everybody knows it, and we saw that in full flux last night, even if it was up against the number 2s. Okay, what do you guys think? Should Haskins run with the 2s going forward? There was that report a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, where it said Haskins was splitting reps with the 2s, and yet still, the first 2 preseason games, Haskins has been with the 3s. So my question to you guys right now is, should Haskins run with the 2s going forward? If you think that he should, give me wide on the low for yes. If you think that he should not, go ahead and give me an N down below for no. Okay, other game notes here. A couple of quick things here. Deontay Johnson, a nice over-the-shoulder catch on a deep ball throw from Mason Rudolph early on in that game. It was against the number 1 coverage for Philadelphia. It was Michael Jaquette, so it was one of their backup cornerbacks. But against one of the, I think it was still the top, the first-team defense was in there for Philadelphia. So drops have not been an issue so far through the first couple of preseason games for Johnson, but it is still early. Really great news. The Steelers came away completely injury-free. There were no injuries for the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. We continue to knock on wood, pray, whatever you want to do. Hope the Steelers stay healthy, but both teams are very healthy, and that's all that you really want in a preseason game, and 2 teams in the city or the state of Pennsylvania. I do wonder when we will see Big Ben Roethlisberger. That should be a legit question. When will Big Ben Roethlisberger be out on the football field in a preseason capacity? This is a new offense, not necessarily a new voice in his ear because Matt Kennedy was the quarterback coach last year, but it is a new-ish offense. There's some new motion that we like to see, and the question is, do you see him in the 3rd preseason game? Does he play in the 4th preseason game? He doesn't have to. He's Big Ben. He's played over 17 seasons, but I do wonder when Ben is going to go ahead and come back. And finally, the Steelers' starting offensive line, they were a little iffy. They run blocked well for Najee Harris, but let's be honest, they got worked a little bit. There was a move by Javon Hargrave of the Philadelphia Eagles right at the middle that was very, very sad. I think the left tackle for the Steelers got beat by Josh Sweat on a play. One of the Eagle pass rushers, I'm trying to remember another one. I think Trey Turner got beat on the right side, or at least he was held, or he had a holding penalty on the right side during that move to the outside. I'm trying to remember all these plays. But the starting offensive line got worked a little bit, and so that's something to keep an eye on going forward because that was a big question mark for the Steelers entering this season. So we will see. But those were my other game notes as the Steelers won and now officially are 2-0 in the preseason. Not that it matters, but it was fun to watch last night. And Dwayne Haskins, again, he's a reason to watch in the 3rd quarter for these preseason games because he was dealing and wheeling and throwing the football very well, and that was fun to see. All right, before we go ahead and end this video as we enter the weekend, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as we approach 4,000 subscribers. So we're trying to grow as quickly as possible here. We need your help. If you guys like these videos, you like the style where we do mailbag videos, we do roster breakdowns, we also do news and rumors, our specialty. We're doing it today, obviously, in a short, condensed 10-minute format. If you like this sort of thing, go ahead and go down below and hit that red subscribe hit the red subscribe button because it helps us grow and it's free for you. You can watch the ESPN today, and you'll get a couple cuts of the Steelers, but we do a full breakdown almost every single day on the channel, so make sure you guys go ahead and go down below and subscribe. All right, all time for today here on our Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumor videos. We continue to try to grow this channel. We guys stay safe out there, enjoy your weekend, and we'll keep an eye on our Pittsburgh Steelers starting Monday with a brand new news and rumor video upcoming. Again, Thomas Mott signing off. Guys, stay safe out there, enjoy the rest of your day.